Hello, I'm Angelina Lee, Vice President, Commercial Financial Services at RBC. As a platform partner and longstanding supporter of the BC Achievement Foundation, RBC is thrilled to welcome you to this year's celebration as we honor the recipient of the 2026 Community Award. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge that I'm situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of Coast Salish peoples, the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh. I recognize and respect their enduring connection to this land, and I am committed to learning from their leadership, wisdom, and contributions, past, present, and future. As many of you are joining us from different locations, I encourage you to acknowledge and reflect upon the territory on which you are situated and take time to learn about the Indigenous peoples whose territories we call home. The BC Achievement Community Award highlights the best of BC, recognizing both emerging leaders and longstanding community champions. It ignites pride, it inspires actions, and helps build a more connected and compassionate province for future generations. But the Community Award is about more than recognition. It's about creating space for leaders of all ages and backgrounds to be seen, heard, and celebrated as they carve a path for others to follow. At RBC, we believe that when everyone has access to fair and inclusive opportunities, we build greater resilience and prosperity in our communities. That's why we're so proud to walk along BC Achievement in honoring those who make a difference, and we're inspired every day by their stories of impact. This year's recipients include healthcare professionals, educators, filmmakers, volunteers, entrepreneurs, mentors, and emerging leaders. Everyday heroes who are changing lives through their courage, creativity, and commitment. From today forward, they are joining an esteemed group of leaders and become a group of a vibrant, distinguished alumni community that's shaping the future of British Columbia. Congratulations to this year's Community Award recipient. Thank you for all you do to help build stronger, healthier, more vibrant communities all across our province. You're not just making a difference today, you're lighting the way forward for everyone who comes after you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. How about a round of applause for Carl on piano? Isn't that lovely music? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. My name's Jeremy Brownridge, and I'm Private Secretary to the Lieutenant Governor and Assistant Deputy Minister here at Government House. We extend a very warm welcome to you all on behalf of Her Honour the Lieutenant Governor. In a moment, you'll see His Honour Sergio Cocchia coming in with the procession. Before we go any further, I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathered on the territory of the Lekwungen people, particularly the Songhees and Esquimalt, and we thank them for sharing these beautiful lands and waters with us in peace and friendship. And hello to all our friends in TV, YouTube land that are following this wonderful ceremony online on live stream. Again, before we go any further, I'm going to please demonstrate silencing my phone, and we'll ask that you do the same so that we do not disturb today's proceedings. Thank you so much. And now that your phone is off and we have your kind attention, if you're comfortable doing so, we would ask that you please rise for the entrance of the recipients, and the official party will come in 2 rounds of procession. And if you could kindly remain standing for that whole time, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Everyone, will you please join me in thanking Her Honour and His Honour's Honorary Pipe Major this afternoon, Bob Glazier. It's now my distinct privilege to call upon our friend Florence Dick and Dakota Charlie from Songhees Nation to provide the traditional welcome.
Oh HCM. I just want to thank my son Dakota for doing the prayer song, walking us in. It's always nice to bring the drum out and be part of an event. The drum wakes up the earth, opens up the grounds for our ancestors to be here with us today. And I'm always grateful to come and do territorial welcomes on our ancestral lands. And I'm just always thankful to see, so much Hwalmuk people in the crowd standing with me, being here, being present at these achievement awards. It makes us so proud to see regalia, see drums, seeing our faces in the crowd. It's so beautiful to have, and to have such a powerful woman, Judith Sayers, to be in our crowd. That's really important, to lift up our people that guide us in such a good way. It's always grateful to share our words in our language, introduce myself in our language, and welcome the Hwalmuk people to the lands of the Lekwungen people. HCM. Siyam na chelacha asa na amtanat. Hajka gwanzana techel hela etus lanata. Hajka siyam gwanzana techel tianik. To my friends, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for coming to our lands of the Lekwungen people. And I always leave a teachings. Gestures are really important in our Hwalmuk community. When you raise your hands, it's really important that when you're raising your hands, you're accepting those words into your heart, and that's what it really means. And when I raise my hands, I'm speaking from the heart. And when I wear my regalia, I got the protections of my ancestors with me. And that's really important when acknowledging regalia, the importance that you wear every step. When you take it out, you look after it, because it's a piece of you. It's part of you. When you accept it and bring it out when you need it for strength, need it for guidance, and because our ancestors are so strong and powerful. And that's what it is. They're always with you when you put your regalia on, standing with you, being part of you, and being in presence, especially when we have the drum out. So, HCM to everyone.
Thank you so very much for those beautiful words, Florence, and to your son Dakota, what strength in that voice that was so beautiful to hear, and the drums. Thank you so much. Please be seated. I am now very delighted to call upon His Honour Sergio Cocchia to provide his remarks, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. To this year's award recipients and all of our guests, honored guests in attendance, welcome. It is a privilege to join you here at the 2026 Community Achievement Awards. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the ancestral territories of the Lekwungen people, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. With deep respect, I acknowledge their enduring connection to these lands and waters and the importance of our shared work in reconciliation. Thank you, Elder Florence Dick and your son Dakota from the Songhees for your traditional welcome. I really appreciated Elder's words, especially as she talked about the faces of British Columbia, and I think it's very evident today how beautiful those faces are. As some of you know, the Honourable Wendy Cocchia is BC's 31st Lieutenant Governor, and she's my wife of 35 years, and she was supposed to be here today, but instead you got me. She had a fall and fractured a bone. It is very painful, and as painful as it sounds, and she is home now recuperating. How it happened, though, is the interesting part of the story. And I truly believe Wendy has made history. She's the first lieutenant governor during their term who has been wounded playing football. and I did not tackle her. Because the anesthesiologist, that was the first suggestion he had. As soon as I said, wounded playing football, you must have tackled her. No, she'd be dead. Actually, the carpet runner played a major part of the role, one of these red carpets. We were at a charity fundraiser, and she threw me the perfect spiral with a BC Lions football logo out, perfectly tossed, and as she did so, the carpet came up between her legs, and down she went. But I'm here in her place with the stern warning to not mess this up. So she is watching on the live feed, so I need to behave, but I did think that if you care to be spontaneous, breaking into loud applause at any time during my speech would be really helpful. I want to thank the honorary aide-de-camps who are here with me today, Deputy Chief Conservation Officer Bill Bresser and Superintendent BC Ambulance Glenn Greenhall. They serve as honorary aide-de-camps to Her Honour, and like all of you, are also stuck with me today. To BC Achievement Foundation CEO Catherine Wilson, the Foundation's board chaired by my good friend Walter Pila, and the entire team who makes this work possible, we thank you for everything you do, to recognize the incredible acts of service and for all of these outstanding British Columbians. These awards are especially dear to my family. I wear mine with honor. Her Honour and I were recognized in 2012, and our daughter Connie was honored in 2023 for her work in meaningful inclusion in film. So it's a real point of pride to have the opportunity to personally congratulate this year's 25 Exceptional Award recipients, and to welcome you into an alumni group of British Columbians who are committed to making our province better. Across all of your unique achievements, I see a shared commitment to service, community, and the greater public good. The fabric of our society is strengthened by individuals like you, who lead with purpose, generosity, and a deep sense of responsibility. I thank you sincerely for your efforts to create a more inclusive, safer, prosperous, and resilient province for us all. It takes community to build community and effect meaningful change. So I also want to express appreciation for the nominees, the supporters, the friends, and loved ones who helped get you here today. This recognition emphasizes the transformative power of service and generosity. Fortunately, these values are inexhaustible. We have in each of us an unlimited capacity to affect change. We just need to choose to do it. On behalf of Her Honour and myself, thank you to today's honorees for making that choice time and time again. We are inspired by each and every one of you. Enjoy today's celebration, and it is a celebration. So please join me in cheering loudly for every award recipients that we'll recognize today. And remember that comment about spontaneous applause? Now's a good time.
Thank you so much, Your Honour, for those warm and inspiring remarks. I think we maybe even should give another round of applause. Thank you so much. I'm now delighted to turn the proceedings over to the chair of the BC Achievement Foundation, Mr. Walter Pala. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy, for the introduction, and I'm truly honored to be here with all of you today. Your Honor, thank you for being here and for your wonderful remarks and for joining us. Please pass on our best wishes to Her Honor for a speedy recovery. We were saddened to hear she suffered this injury, but glad she's on her way to recovery, and also relieved to know that it wasn't you that tackled her. BC Achievement, and indeed all British Columbians, appreciate the Lieutenant Governor's and your leadership, and we're grateful to be presenting the 2026 Community Award Program in your presence, made even more special by the fact that you yourself are a recipient of the award under this program. We are delighted to be continuing the tradition of presenting the Community Award Program in Government House, the ceremonial house of all British Columbians, and grateful to be working with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor, honoring the best in our province. I would also like to acknowledge, with respect, the Algonquin peoples, the Songhees, Esquimalt First Nations, on whose traditional territory we are visiting today. The BC Achievement Foundation is the presenting organization of the Community Award Program. As an independent, not-for-profit organization, we are grateful to our funders, whose contributions allow us to celebrate the spirit of excellence in our province. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge BC Achievement's platform partner, RBC, whose generous and returning support sustains and expands this important program. Together, we are building a stronger and more engaged community throughout the province. So thank you, and a special welcome to RBC Vice President Angelina Lee and the RBC team who are here celebrating the awards today. BC Achievement is also thankful to Connor, Clark and Lunn for their multi-year gift to the Community Award Program, and we look forward to working with them in the years ahead. And in addition to the Community Award, our foundation delivers 4 other programs: the Sam Carter Applied Art and Design Award, the Polygon Award in First Nations Art, the Indigenous Business Award, and in partnership again with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor, the BC Reconciliation Award, celebrated in this very place. 2026 marks the 23rd anniversary of the Foundation's launch of the Community Award Program. And what does that mean in the context of today's ceremony? It's impossible to ignore that we are living through a challenging and uncertain time. Many people are carrying a great deal, personally, in their communities, and in the world around us. And that's what makes this moment feel truly meaningful. To come together and celebrate those who lead with generosity, integrity, and care is a powerful reminder of what is steady and good. Today, we honor individuals whose contributions strengthen our communities and quietly shape a better future for all of us. A warm welcome as well to the many civic and provincial leaders here today. Thank you for joining us to honor the Community Award recipients who do so much to lift up your communities. To the nominators, the friends, the family, the colleagues, and past recipients of the program, all of whom have traveled to Government House to witness the importance of achievement and celebrate the awardees, thank you as well. Welcome. Many of you have made possible the accomplishments of the recipients that we're honoring this afternoon. So again, thank you for your support and contributions. And now, the reason we are here, the 2026 Community Award presentation. I would like to express, on behalf of the board and my colleague board members who are here, our appreciation to the outstanding work of the Community Awards Selection Committee, who were given the very difficult, but I am sure very rewarding task of reviewing the many nominations of so many outstanding British Columbians and reaching some very difficult decisions. Thank you for your commitment and your efforts and your hard work in the process. If I could ask you to please stand and turn to face the audience as you're introduced, and may I ask the audience to please hold your applause until all are acknowledged. Mayor Spencer Coyne of Princeton, City Councillor of Prince George and UBCM President Corey Ramsey, and program alumni Susan Scott Gabe of Duncan, Dr. Jane Shing of Coquitlam, and Aptar Tatley of Surrey. Thank you. Now, a brief word about today's awardees, and a warm welcome to all of you. You are a testament to the best of BC, joining a program that has told the inspiring stories of over 700 British Columbians who have carved a path forward through their achievements. Achievement which requires strength, courage, and skill. You inspire by example. The award program is memorable and significant because of you. You and your family should be very proud of the work you have done, and certainly BC Achievement is privileged to recognize you and inspire others to follow in your footsteps. Today is all about you, celebrating you, individually remarkable and collectively inspiring. Today, each of you will receive a BC Achievement medallion and matching lapel pin featuring a design by renowned artist Robert Davidson, whose words resonate the intent of all BC Achievements Award programs. Cultural hero, spirited, undaunted, fearless, bold, raising our awareness to a higher understanding. Now, please join me in welcoming board member, Community Award alumnus, and founder and artistic director of Bard on the Beach, the incomparable Christopher Gaze.
Thank you, Walter. Well, it's a real honor to be here and to be able to say the words that I have to say that are all about you this afternoon, the recipients of this award. So let's begin. I call upon Damine Akaban of West Vancouver to know Damine is to witness quiet strength, generosity, and a spirit that uplifts everyone around her. An aerospace engineer and dedicated advocate, Damine is transforming communities across British Columbia and beyond. As co-founder and CEO of Global Women in STEM, she advances equity by opening doors for women and underrepresented groups in science and engineering. Her leadership extends from the West Vancouver Police Board to Engineers Canada and the United Nations, where she champions inclusive governance and meaningful change. Widely honored for her contributions, Damine is recognized for what she's achieved and, as importantly, for how she leads with heart, integrity, and a commitment to equity and lasting impact. Your Honor, I present Damine Akaban. I call upon Kit Ashenhurst of Caslow. A quiet force of the heart of Caslow, Kit leads with humility and an extraordinary sense of responsibility to his community. When the historic SS Moyi, Canada's oldest intact passenger sternwheeler and a National Historic Site, faced critical deterioration, Kit played a key role in its rehabilitation. Moving full steam ahead, he brought volunteers, tradespeople, and specialists together, pursuing every detail with tenacity, working to ensure the vessel was restored with integrity. Kit's impact was transformational. Through his leadership, a National Historic Site is now preserved and serves as both a source of pride and a driver of tourism. Kit's legacy lives in both the places he restores and the community he strengthens. Your Honor, I present Kit Ashenhurst. I call upon John Kahinde Atoyenbi of Vancouver. There are people in every community who become a steady place to turn, especially in moments of uncertainty. John, known to many as JK, is one of those people. As founder of the BC Black Advocacy Society and the African Canadian Agricultural Producers Cooperative, John supports individuals and families navigating complex systems with care, cultural understanding, and commitment. He listens, he guides, and he shows up, helping others find their footing and move forward with confidence. His leadership extends across our civic life, from his governance role at the Vancouver General Hospital thrift store to contributing thoughtful insight on the Vancouver Heritage Commission and the city's Persons with Disabilities Advisory Committee, whether mentoring youth, organizing community initiatives, or advancing equity through his professional work. John strengthens both systems and people, and his compassion and leadership are felt across this province. Your Honor, I present John Kahinde Atoyenbi. I call upon Anita Atwal of Surrey. In any workplace or institution, there's a moment when fairness is tested, not in policy, but in practice. Anita has built her career in that moment. As a labor, employment, and human rights lawyer, Anita steps into complexity with purpose, guiding difficult conversations, leading investigations, and helping organizations do the harder, better thing. As Integrity Commissioner for the City of Maple Ridge, she reinforces something we all rely on but rarely see: trust that is earned through accountability. Her impact stretches across governance tables, classrooms, and mentorship circles, where she's opened doors for racialized legal professionals and advanced more inclusive workplaces across British Columbia. Anita's work doesn't end when a decision is made. It continues in the lives that have changed. She is shaping outcomes, and in doing so, her efforts demonstrate what fairness looks like in action. Your Honor, I present Anita Atwal. I call upon Simon Baker of the Squamish Nation. There's a simple truth Simon carries into every room. Before anything can move forward, people have to understand one another. As a member of the Squamish Nation, Simon has made that understanding his life's work. Through the documentary series, The New Energy, he travels across British Columbia to tell stories and to listen, bringing forward voices of Indigenous leadership in energy, culture, and community that too often go unheard. And what makes Simon's work resonate is what happens off camera. He connects people who might not otherwise meet, nations, industry, and communities, creating space for relationships built on respect. There's a quiet skill in that, and a rare one, because when those relationships take hold, they change conversations. Simon's a storyteller who helps write a different future, grounded in trust and purpose. Your Honor, I present Simon Baker. I think I just got a job. I'll give you my card later. I call upon Varun Banthia of Vancouver. There's a difference between navigating systems and improving them. Varun has chosen the harder path. Legally blind since birth, he understands in a direct way what access, accountability, and equity truly mean, as ideas and as a lived reality. And he carries that understanding into every role he holds. As chair of the Portland Housing Society, Varun helps guide services for those facing mental health challenges, substance use, and poverty, while also showing up on the front lines, listening and serving. In his work with the City of Vancouver, he strengthens public trust through careful oversight and a clear sense of responsibility. Varun asks whether a system works, and most importantly, who does it work for? Then he does something about it. His leadership is helping build institutions that people can truly rely on. Your Honor, I present Varun Banthia. I call upon Marielle Satsun Belanger of Okanagan Indian band Sea Ilk Nation. Some artists ask you to look. Marielle invites you to participate. A Sea Ilk interdisciplinary artist, Marielle begins her work on the land and then invites others to return to it. Through performance, storytelling, and land-based practice, she creates opportunities where culture is experienced. Hands in the soil, stories shared, knowledge carried forward. As a founder of Studio Sispalk Gallery, she's built a place where people gather to learn by doing, harvesting, making, listening. And for over 2 decades, Marielle has strengthened the Okanagan arts community mentoring youth, supporting artists, and creating spaces where relationships land and take root. Her work extends into scholarship as a doctoral student in cultural studies at Queen's University, where she continues to advance Indigenous knowledge systems within academic spaces. Mariel's leadership reminds us that culture lives through relationship to land, to each other, and to what we carry forward together. Your Honor, I present Mariel Tuzan Bélanger. I call upon Don Blakely of Armstrong. In search and rescue undertakings, there can be an instance when time stretches, hope thins, and everything depends on the people who keep going. For nearly 4 decades, Don has been one of those people. From helping found search and rescue in Fort Nelson to leading complex operations in Vernon, Don has guided how this work is done, training others, building systems, and showing up when it matters most. At the provincial and national levels, Don has contributed through leadership with the BC Search and Rescue Association and the Search and Rescue Volunteer Association of Canada. But if you ask him, he won't point to the scale of the search or the difficulty of the terrain. He'll tell you about the moment a family hears the words, "We found them." And as his wife once said, Don practiced just enough law to support his search and rescue habit. Don epitomizes a life lived in service, service that brings people home. Your Honor, I present Don Blakely. I call upon Andrea Castro of Langley. It began with a simple, deeply personal goal to create a place where her daughter could belong. Andrea didn't stop there. She looked around playgrounds and saw something many of us miss. Children wanted to connect, but they did not always share a way to communicate. So she built one. Through her initiative, Forever Kind, Andrea designs communication boards that combine visuals, sign-supported language, literacy cues, and emotional supports. What began as one prototype is now found in parks, schools, and community spaces across British Columbia. Her work is collaborative and quietly transformative. She brings together educators, therapists, municipalities, and families to embed inclusion into everyday life. As one school principal noted, Andrea helps communities see capabilities instead of limitations. And because of her efforts, more children are understood, more children are included, more children belong. Your Honor, I present Andrea Castro. I call upon Carl Kavanagh of Victoria. In a downtown library, Carl's work went far beyond the circulation desk. As a senior staff member at the Greater Victoria Public Library, he met community needs head-on, de-escalating conflict, advancing harm reduction, and building pathways for those often left outside the system. He formed partnerships with organizations like the Mustard Seed Food Bank and Our Place Society, creating pop-up libraries and delivering books directly to people facing barriers. His work inside the Vancouver Island Regional Correctional Centre best captures his impact. In 2011, inmates had little access to books. Carl's vision saw space cleared above, a woodworking shop, and a library was built from scratch. Over time, he grew the collection and sustained the program for more than 15 years. And today, that library fosters literacy, reflection, and change. Proof that access to knowledge can transform lives. Your Honour, I present Carl Kavanagh. I call upon Cecilia Ching Yi Leung of Vancouver. In a city that moves quickly, Cecilia is someone who chooses to stay again and again for the people who need her. And for over 20 years in Vancouver's Chinatown, she's been a quiet constant, a translator, a mentor, a trusted bridge between community and police. Each year, she gives hundreds of hours organizing events, guiding new volunteers, supporting victims, and showing up at meetings where difficult conversations turn into real change. She's often described as the person others turn to first, and the one who never turns away. And when floodwaters damaged the Chinese Community Policing Center's office, Cecilia didn't wait to be asked. She rolled up her sleeves and helped rebuild so the work could continue. That is Cecilia's gift, not just service, but presence. She's the glue that binds her community, and through her care, Chinatown and the downtown East Side are safer, stronger, more connected, and more human. Your Honour, I present Cecilia Ching Yi Leung. I call upon Jacqueline Cragg of West Vancouver. Standing at the edge of something new, wondering if we belong, is a familiar moment for many of us. For youth facing violence and adversity, that moment can feel permanent. Jacqueline decided it would not. An associate professor at UBC and a Canada Research Chair, Jacqueline is an internationally recognized scientist. Her defining work, however, might just happen beyond the lab. Through her initiatives, fostering science and resilience with research, she's created pathways into science for those too often excluded, pairing mentorship with hands-on learning and a deep sense of care. Students who arrive at the program unsure of themselves leave as confident presenters, mentors, and advocates for their own futures. For more than a decade, Jacqueline has championed young people at the Greater Vancouver Regional Science Fair and mentored emerging researchers at UBC. Jacqueline's work reminds us that access changes lives, and that belonging, once offered, can change everything. Your Honor, I present Jacqueline Cragg. I call upon Dr. Rumnik Dosanjh of Delta. There are people who treat illness, and there are people who change the conditions that cause it. Dr. Dosanjh does both. As the president of Doctors of BC, she helped embed gender equity and Indigenous cultural safety into physician agreements and signed a landmark commitment to Indigenous-specific anti-racism. Her work has shaped primary care reform across this province, while her leadership continues nationally and internationally, from the Federation of Medical Women of Canada to forums at the United Nations. She also builds bridges others might not see, co-founding the Health and Justice Alliance to support families navigating both healthcare and the legal system. And in Dreamland, a children's book, Dr. Dosanjh wrote, "To be used in palliative care, we see another side of her compassion, helping families find words when there are none." Dr. Dosanjh leads with purpose and care that endures. Your Honor, I present Dr. Rumnik Dosanjh. I call upon Beatrice Frank of Victoria. If you've ever tried to organize a group chat, you know how hard it is to get people aligned. Now imagine doing that across entire coastlines. For more than 2 decades, Beatrice has brought together Indigenous nations, fishers, scientists, and communities to care for the places that they share. As a conservation social scientist, she works where ecology meets people, because lasting protection depends on both. From regional parks to WWF Canada, and now as executive director of the Georgia Strait Alliance, Beatrice has led efforts that protect marine ecosystems while strengthening the communities connected to them. She builds coalitions, mentors emerging leaders, while ensuring there are more voices at the table. Her impact lives in healthier waters and in the trust and shared responsibility that carry this work forward. Your Honor, I present Beatrice Frank. I call upon Rosalind Glynn of Port Hardy. On North Vancouver Island, Connection can be as simple as a phone call that says, "Are you all right?" For hundreds of seniors, that voice has often been Rosalind. As chair of the Hardy Bay Senior Citizens Society, she guided its growth from 60 to nearly 300 members, while helping develop weekly meal programs, workshops, and community gatherings. She also helped build partnerships that expanded access and inclusion across the region. And when the pandemic closed doors, Rosalind organized meal delivery, wellness check-ins, transportation, and a volunteer phone network so no one was left alone. Her service extends to the Port Hardy Hospital Auxiliary, North Island Seniors Housing Foundation, Mount Waddington Health Network, and the Seniors Elders Better Living Advisory Committee, strengthening supports across sectors and generations. If you follow the care in this community, you will find Rosalind. Rosalind will be there, quietly keeping people connected. Your Honor, I present Rosalind Glynn. Our next recipient, Kobe Lee, is unable to attend today's ceremony. We hope, Kobe, that you're watching from Ontario. I recognize Kobe Lee of Vancouver. Most of us have squinted at a whiteboard or held a book a little closer, hoping things would come into focus. For Kobe, that lived experience helped define his purpose. As a student living with high myopia, Kobe founded 2020 Mission and turned a personal challenge into collective action. And what began in a classroom now spans British Columbia, connecting schools, volunteers, and healthcare partners. More than 8,000 pairs of eyeglasses have been collected, carefully sorted, and redistributed to underserved communities in Canada and internationally. Kobe didn't stop at donations. He built the systems behind them, from quality control to distribution, and established student-led clubs that bring young people into the work, creating leaders and empowered participants. It's a simple idea, clearly seen, and that can change how others see the world. And Kobe stands as an emerging leader, making that change possible. Your Honor, I present Kobe Lee in absentia. Our next recipient, Shelley Magwood, is also unable to attend today's ceremony. And Shelley, we hope that you're watching from home. I recognize Shelley Magwood of Cache Creek. Some organizations begin with a plan. This one began with a kitchen table. Shelley saw a need in Cache Creek and Ashcroft, and instead of waiting, she started cooking. One meal at a time, delivered by hand, became the foundation of the Equality Project Society, now a vital source of food, connection, and support for those who need it most. As a founding member and leader, Shelley built trust, whether creating a warming center in winter, expanding services for those facing homelessness and isolation, or quietly ensuring someone had what they needed that day. She showed up, She showed up constantly. With the steady instincts of an emergency medical technician, Shelley meets urgency with care and complexity with action. Her generous leadership responded to her community's needs, and in doing so, allowed the community to trust and support itself. Your Honor, I present Shelley Magwood in absentia. I call upon Jackie McPherson of the Penticton Indian Band. For more than 4 decades, Jackie has guided how care is delivered in First Nations communities across British Columbia. Steady, practical, and grounded in relationships. As health director of the Penticton Indian Band and in earlier roles with the Osoyoos and Lower Similkameen Indian Bands, she has led the development of community-based health and addiction programs for all ages. She helped establish a recovery house, advanced a comprehensive mental health and substance use strategy in response to the opioid crisis, and contributed to the Big Worries program supporting children and families. Jackie has strengthened services through partnerships with the First Nations Health Authority, Interior Health, and the Okanagan Nation Alliance, and through initiatives like the Integrated Community Outreach Team. And those who work with her say, Jackie builds circles of care, making sure no one is left outside of them. Your Honor, I present Jackie McPherson. I call upon Rochelle Prasad of Surrey. Rochelle works with a simple and powerful idea. If you open one door for a young person, they will open 10 more for others. As founder and executive director of Spark Foundation, she's helped more than 500,000 youth find their footing through mentorship, scholarships, and leadership programs rooted here in British Columbia and reaching far beyond it. But numbers only tell part of the story. Rochelle builds systems that last. She secures funding so opportunities remain free. She centers youth voices so programs reflect real lives. And she stays, mentoring and quietly cheering as young people step into leadership themselves. She also ensures history is not forgotten, advancing awareness of the history of indentured laborers and supporting Gurmit remembrance initiatives, particularly with Indo-Fijian communities in Surrey. And her work doesn't end with impact. It multiplies through the people she lifts and the leaders they become. Your Honor, I present Rochelle Prasad. I call upon Haley Regan Siyilkwa Spoos of the Okanagan Nation. Haley's story begins where many leadership stories do, by showing up. As a youth volunteer, she stepped into community spaces not to be seen, but to be useful. And then, quietly and steadily, she became essential, an emerging leader shaped by action and trust. Grounded in Indigenous knowledge through the Inoquin Center, Haley has built a practice that connects art, youth, and belonging. From coordinating the moving parts of powwow between the lakes to guiding young people through their first brushstrokes, she creates spaces where culture is lived. And today, whether supporting artists or rallying volunteers, Haley continues to lead with care and purpose, proving that leadership is about empowering and standing with others. Your Honor, I present Haley Regan Siyilk Wa Spoos. I call upon Chief Willie Sellers of the Williams Lake First Nation. At 24, when most people are still finding their footing, Chief Willie stepped forward to serve. 15 years later, that commitment has only deepened, carrying the trust of the Williams Lake First Nation and the Sequep-Imp Nation. And from the front lines as a wildland firefighter to the council table and now chief, his work has always been about protection, land, people, and of future opportunity. He's advanced land management systems, negotiated agreements with industry, and turned relationships into real outcomes that support community programs and services. Chief Willie has also helped lead the investigation of the St. Joseph's Mission residential school site, work grounded in truth, accountability, and healing. And as an author of children's books, he reminds the next generation where they come from and where they can go. His leadership restores, it builds, and it guides. Your Honor, I present Chief Willie Sellers. I call upon Cheyenne Trenholm of Campbell River. Cheyenne's story began with Hamalco Wildlife and Cultural Tours as a summer student, welcoming visitors and sharing the stories, the lands and traditions of her nation in Campbell River. Always greeting visitors with a smile, Cheyenne intuitively brought a deep sense of responsibility to her role. Proud member of the Hamalco Nation, Cheyenne chose to return home after university, and in doing so, turned a summer job into a leadership pathway, from marketing to operations to general manager. She's grown alongside the work, never losing sight of who it serves. Today, she brings that same grounded perspective to the Indigenous Tourism BC Board, ensuring decisions reflect real communities. Cheyenne leads by lifting others, creating opportunities, mentoring emerging voices, and strengthening ties to land and culture. In her hands, tourism is a relationship and a promise kept. Your Honor, I present Cheyenne Trenholm. Our next recipient, Crystal White, is unable to attend today's ceremony. But Chris, we hope that you're watching from home. I recognize Crystal White of Tumbler Ridge. In every community, there are people who quietly hold everything together, who show up consistently and give without asking for recognition. And Chris is one of those people. For more than 25 years, Chris has been at the heart of community life in Tumbler Ridge. Since 2001, she's supported cultural, environmental, and recreational initiatives, strengthening the community through both leadership and hands-on care. When she discovered the town's history was at risk of being lost in boxes and bags, she simply said, "I'll do that." She sought the training, and she built an archive from the ground up, preserving thousands of stories. And she calls herself a foul-weather archivist, happiest on a rainy day in the archives. Others know her for the joy she brings to community events, often arriving with her beloved donkey. I love that. Creating moments of connection and delight, because that's who Chris is, preserving history, nurturing community, and bringing people together with warmth and heart. Your Honor, I present Crystal White in absentia. Your Honor, I call upon Dan and Sandy Weeb of Nacusp. In Nacusp, when people tell the story of their town, they often end up telling the story of a mill that refused to close and the two people who refused to walk away from it. For more than 25 years, Dan and Sandy have carried Box Lake lumber through fire, fiber shortages, and shifting policies. After two devastating fires, they rebuilt, not once stepping back, always stepping forward. Dan on the floor finding solutions, Sandy beside him, holding the business together with resolve. Together, they made something remarkable out of what others overlooked. Low-grade and wildfire-affected timber transformed into steady work, into paychecks, into families staying in Nacusp. And when the industry faltered, they didn't ask what was easiest. They asked what would keep their people working. And that choice, repeated year after year, is their legacy. Dan and Sandy's leadership sustained a mill and sustained their community. Your Honor, I present Dan and Sandy Weeb. So, as Dan and Sandy make their way back to their seats, ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in applauding these amazing British Columbians who so richly deserve this honor today. That's called a standing ovation. And in my business, it's gold, and so well deserved. As to you, the awardees, as a past program alumnus, I encourage you to wear your lapel pin with pride and continue to inspire change. Now, this commemorative piece honors your achievements and the spirit, the imagination, dedication, and outstanding contributions of British Columbians to their communities. So savor this moment. It's yours. I'd like you now to please stand up together, turn and face the audience, wave to your friends and family, and acknowledge their support of your accomplishments. You've earned it. Congratulations.
Christopher, that passion brought these stories to life. Thank you. Your delivery brings depth and distinction. I would say one of the greatest orators of our time, so thank you. And let me add my own warm congratulations to each and every one of you. It's really a privilege to be here in this inspiring place at Government House with all of you to celebrate your really remarkable achievements, and we heard those stories delivered with such passion. I think what stands out across this year's recipients is a form of leadership that's truly grounded in community within the meaning of these awards. Leadership that listens, responds, and builds from within. Many of you work across systems, health, education, justice, science, and you work to remove barriers, expand access, and reimagine really how these systems connect. Together, you reflect both long-term commitment, but also future promise, those whose impact has spanned years, and others whose leadership journey is beginning to take shape. Truly inspiring. Congratulations. One more round of applause. And now we'd like to hear from the recipients. And to do that, please join me in welcoming Jacqueline Craig to the podium to say a few words on behalf of the 2026 awardees.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Walter. Your Honor, award recipients and guests, we acknowledge with great respect the Lekwungen, Songhees, and Esquimalt First Nation upon whose traditional territories we are gathered this afternoon. Today we celebrate diverse work that addresses leadership, inclusion, accessibility, equity, health, and creativity from across the province. And one aspect that unites us is community. For me, community has directly shaped me. My father, he was stabbed and killed in a home invasion when I was 8 years old. And the last words I said to my dad were, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, but I asked him what happened. Because at that time, I was just 8, I didn't understand that a person had hurt him. And I always regretted never saying goodbye. The last words I said to him were a question. But many years later, I realized that being curious and asking questions was a good thing. And that's perhaps why I became a scientist at UBC, where I have the privilege of asking questions for a living. And I found my way through difficult times because of a community of mentors who always showed up and most importantly, mentors who conveyed their passion for something. I think the most interesting people in the world are in love with something, and often something oddly specific. But I think the most powerful people in the world have a passion that is infectious. They teach others, especially those who have had obstacles in their life, that loving something is actually healing. And that lesson has stayed with me, and it is why standing among today's honorees feels so meaningful. Each of you, in your own way, represents the kind of community that helps others heal, grow, and believe what is possible. Congratulations to my fellow honorees, and my gratitude to our nominators and to the BC Achievement Foundation. And I'd also like to thank my family. I wouldn't let my kids miss school to be here, but they'll hopefully watch the recording. Thank you so much.
Jacqueline, could we have you back actually on stage for a moment? And thank you for those words and sharing that story and being vulnerable like that. And I think those words of taking passion and creating impact and purpose, I think, is reflective of all of the stories that we heard today. Instituted in 2017 and named in the honor of the late Keith Mitchell, BC Achievement's founding chair and guiding light for 13 years, the Mitchell Award designation recognizes an individual who, through his or her work and volunteer activities, has demonstrated a unique and selfless leadership style that empowers others to engage to lead. Drawing on lived experience, scientific expertise, and deep compassion, Jacqueline helps young people affected by trauma reconnect with learning, confidence, and hope. Jacqueline's work is a powerful example of how lived experience and science can come together in service of healing and community. So, on behalf of BC Achievement and its board, it's my honor to present the 2026 Mitchell Award of Distinction to Jacqueline Craig. As we close today's ceremony, I'd like to thank His Honour and Her Honour, who hopefully is watching, and of course to Jeremy and the entire Government House team for your care and generosity in welcoming all of us with such gracious hospitality, and to let everyone know we look forward to continuing the celebration with some wonderful food and refreshments after. Their Honour's deep commitment to community and service is felt throughout this place. As both BC Achievement Community Award alumni, their honors truly understand the importance of recognizing to those that give so much, and that perspective is reflected in their collective leadership. Government House continues to be a place where people feel welcomed, connected, and seen. That spirit is shared by the awardees we honor today, individuals who lead with compassion, build bridges, and strengthen communities across the province. It's a privilege to celebrate alongside you. Thank you for being here, stepping in, and championing this work. Finally, I would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful BC Achievement Foundation team, whose tireless work allows us to celebrate British Columbians throughout our programs. Kristen McDougall, who leads this program delivery. Thank you for all your efforts. And today's ceremony is particularly significant for our foundation, as it marks the last one that Catherine Wilson will oversee in her capacity as Chief Executive of BC Achievement as she ends her tenure at the end of the month. Catherine, thank you for your inspiring leadership and extraordinary service. Over the many years, you have helped celebrate over 1,000 British Columbians. Remarkable work. Thank you. And we're also pleased to acknowledge Rup Grewal as the Foundation's incoming Executive Director to lead BC Achievement into the future. To all of you, to all in this room, let's take what we've learned back today to our communities, put it into practice, and help surface the stories still untold. And that means also nominating a local hero for next year's awards. Nominations for the Community Award and all BC Achievement Foundation Award programs are open year-round. Together, we can continue to recognize and celebrate the people whose leadership strengthen communities across British Columbia. Thank you. Jeremy, over to you.
Thank you so very much, Walter. That concludes the formal proceedings, but I just have to say we do dozens and dozens of events here every year, but this is the one that really fills us up. I see the whole staff here listening to the amazing stories of the work that you do in community. It's very, very inspiring and just makes us all so happy. It's also the opportunity that we get to hear Christopher Gaze read the citations, and we get to work with the amazing BC Achievement Foundation under your leadership, Walter, and you're a fantastic team. Thank you all so very, very much. Now a couple last words. We will soon depart the stage, and we'll ask to invite the recipients today. You could kindly leave your things on your chair, and we'll do a family photo up in the staircase. And then very shortly after that, we'll open the doors to the dining room. I hope you don't have any dinner plans, because there's lots of fantastic food and the bar open at the back. So thank you again for joining. Thank you for the great work of the awardees. That's it, and we'll now invite the platform party to depart. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.